Hello, and welcome to the Book Doctor's YouTube channel.
Today we're going to talk about elevator pitches.
And what an elevator pitch means is that your pitch has to be over in the time it takes to get from one floor to the next in an elevator.
That's right. That's why they call it an elevator pitch. Because believe it or not, if you lead any kind of life, at some point or another, you're going to find yourself in a position, be it an elevator or coming out of a restaurant or being on an airplane, and someone's going to say, "Oh, so what do you do?" And you go, "Well, I'm a writer." And they go, "Oh, what's your book about?" And you realize you have about 10 seconds to tell them what your book is about.
Exactly. So while we have performed our pitch for you in the past,
Yes.
Our long pitch, which is 19 seconds,
Yes.
when we have to do a pitch for our book that's super quick, we say that the essential guide to getting your book published is the what to expect when you're expecting
Of publishing.
There you go.
So it literally takes what?
The what to expect when you're expecting of publishing. 9 words.
And that's long for an elevator pitch.
The thing that makes for a successful elevator pitch is usually when you can reference something else
That's been successful.
so that people understand right away. Now, for our book, we chose a book that has nothing to do with publishing that's in a different part of the bookstore.
Yeah.
But then by saying of publishing, people understand what it is. Other people often just marry 2 titles together, like is often done in Hollywood.
Right. But if our book was about pregnancy and giving birth, we probably wouldn't compare it to What to Expect When You're Expecting, because that book has sold 50 bajillion copies.
Unless we were doing something completely different. The attachment parenting version of the
right.
What to Expect When You're Expecting.
Yeah. In fact, one of our favorite all-time elevator pitches, we were at Book Passage in Corte Madera, and this woman who was an arborist gave us the most brilliant elevator pitch.
It is the elements of style for fruit trees. Never would have thought of that combination.
And my wife literally lost her mind.
Yeah, I did.
She freaked out in the best way. Because it's so... What's great about an elevator pitch is a good one, is that it's kind of counterintuitive and it makes sense at the same time.
Yeah.
When you see the element of style, that book, you don't think fruit trees.
No.
Like that's the last thing you think. Just like when you think of What to Expect When You're Expecting, you don't think about publishing a book. You think about babies.
Right.
So you take that basic expectation, the elements of style, it's a kind of a I wouldn't say dry, but it's a very serious book about grammar and
Right.
the elements of style, and you marry that to something that is antithetical, interesting, makes
But it's
us go,
actually a very elegant and readable book, as is
Yes.
what ended up being Anne Ralph's book,
Yeah.
The Little Fruit Tree book. Had those same elements to it.
The power of a great elevator pitch can be illustrated in this little tiny story about the fruit tree. She took that elevator pitch, called exactly the right publisher, gave the elevator pitch, and basically sold the book in
Right.
14 seconds.
Right.
That's the power of a great elevator pitch. It's a shorthand for writer to editor, agent, publisher, and then bookseller.
So the easy way, as we were saying, of doing this is to look at your comp titles, comparable titles.
Yeah.
Now, these can be actually book titles. They could be borrowed from Hollywood or television or what have you. So knowing good comp titles, often not from the same shelf as even your book, but very often they are from the same shelf, to give people a quick handle. So can you give some good Hollywoodese here?
Well, there's the one way of doing it, which is Pride and Prejudice in Modern London. So you're taking a book and putting it somewhere else. Pride and Prejudice in Modern London is The Diary of Bridget Jones. We take a classic book. You don't ever want to say my book is the next Pride and Prejudice, but you can say it's this book with this little thing added to it. Catcher in the Rye with Asperger's.
The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
Beautiful book, by the way.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh meets the Tao Ching.
Tao Te Ching.
Whatever. That's the Tao of Pooh.
Yeah.
Which is just such a lovely title to say. Just try it. Tao of Pooh. So it's your job, one of the pitfalls, it's your job to be able to explain this quickly in a way that makes people interested and not roll their eyes. So you can't use gigantic titles, generally speaking, to compare your book to. We have so many people who say, oh, this book is the next Harry Potter meets the Hunger Games meets the Bible. Can't do
Not
that.
good.
Because people are, it's not going to be the next Harry Potter. It's not going to be the next Hunger Games in almost all certainty. We've just seen too many hardened publishing professionals roll their eyes when they hear these books, Eat, Pray, Love, all that. So
The other way of using an elevator pitch is your title and subtitle together.
Right.
Sometimes those alone are enough to pitch your book. So I'm just going to read a couple of examples here. The Happiness Project, or Why I Spent a Year Trying to Sing in the Morning, Clean My Closets, Fight Right, Read Aristotle, and Generally Have More Fun. So that gives you the whole roundup of the
you
book.
don't even really have to read that book once you've read the
Exactly. It's
subtitle
done.
and the title. You're done
It's
with
done.
it. Right.
So that's all we're going to say for the moment on elevator pitches, because we have to be brief.
Right. Elevator's going down. Okay.
Wait. If you have any comments
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
yeah,
elevator
yeah.
pitch,
Please
put them
put
below.
them on the
or
below.
additional questions. We're happy to answer them.
like a chair. Like and share.
Like and share, etc. You can go to our website to sign up for our newsletter, which has more
YouTube.
information on all of this
Subscribe.
stuff. You got the gist. Thanks, everybody. See you at the bookstore. Okay.
Why is that a good elevator pitch?
Well, that's what I was about to do.
You were?
Yeah.
Well, let's break it down. You were moving on to other things, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
Don't fib.
She can be. She ain't crazy, a little bit funny that way.